Alright, good morning everybody. We are back with our Holy Nation playthrough. We've gotten our crafters set back up in town again. We're still running into the usual suspects of struggling to put armor away, struggling to keep them crafting. Doesn't seem to matter what I do, the game finds a way to have a problem. So we're just going to keep an eye on Zill, try to keep him crafting. Benny is coming along nicely, making us a ton of money. And Brecht has been making up some very nice paladins crosses. The progress is a little slow, but it's not that bad. The biggest issue we're seeing is a bottleneck in training everyone. So I'm going to be looking at just making sure that we can train them effectively. So I split the strength training into two groups, so it's less of a giant train. Hopefully they're going to spend way more time walking than they are mining, just because there's even more people doing the mining. We're going to see pretty good result so far. We've gotten the lowest, I think, is 62, 61, ooh, a 58. So the progress is definitely considerably slower without something to carry. So what we're going to do with the next batch of recruits is just head up to Mongrel, and we're going to take them with all their gear on, and we're going to take them to pick up the backpacks there and just fight their way out of the fog with their backpacks on, picking up fogmen as they go. That'll give them a ton of training on the way back. It'll give them a way to fill up their backpacks, things like that. The way we're going to start it is by heading up there with our Inquisitors. We've taken off their, easier, lighter weapons that do less damage, put their real Paladins Cross weapons back on. And now we're just looking at heading there and getting as many backpacks filled up with iron as we can. The progress doing it here is just so slow. Because if you look at it, at the rate we're going, I still need over 100 people. And if we're doing those 22 at a time, that's going to be, 5, 6 streams before we even finish their strength training. And I'd like to progress a little faster than that. So we're going to dial up our training program. We're going to get more backpacks filled with iron, walk those back, and then the next recruits will go get their own backpacks as well if we need to. And if they don't need to, then we're just going to bring them out to the Fogland first, have them each grab somebody to carry just because there's plenty in here, and then we'll go back and do our strength training. Because the progress we're seeing is literally half as fast, and I just don't want to deal with progressing that slowly. So we're going to make a group of 50, including our Church Inquisitors, our new squad, and anyone else that'll fit. And we're just going to come in here and get what we need for someone to carry. And we're going to progress 50 people at a time. So that means we should have 50 people training strength this stream. And then from now on, we're going to be streaming only in the mornings. The evening one, we do see a lot of people watching, but just with the schedule, we've hit the busy season, and now I'm going to be having to do a lot more in the evenings. So we're probably not looking at having a stream in the evenings, unfortunately, but maybe on Fridays. On Fridays, we probably will. Oh, that's not the right guy. So all we're going to do is go through here and slowly fill these backpacks up with all the iron we need. It's a bit of a process, but we've got to do what we've got to do to make sure we progress at a decent pace. Right now we've got some iron back at the base, but because they're spending a majority of their time walking back and forth, not actually mining it, it's not going to give us enough iron to make training backpacks very quickly. You see the rate at which these automated drills pull the iron out is much higher. You're going to get it much quicker. And then these guys are just so badass that they're going to be able to easily walk these backpacks back, and then we'll bring them with the next group. I don't think we're going to be able to sit here and do this on stream. This sounded like a good idea at the time, but it's looking more abysmal. Like, I don't mind sitting here doing this, getting them prepped, but I can imagine it's probably boring as tears. So what we'll probably do, throw this on the ground and leave with the backpacks. And we'll grab somebody for our trainees. And we'll just see about basically throwing these guys over to the trainees to pick up and carry if they don't just disappear. So while, again, I like the idea of just progressing 22 at a time, that is a pretty good system. It's a little more organized, a little less chaotic. But between that and doing it without something to carry, it's just kind of abysmal as far as how slow it's going to progress. So we're going to step it up a notch any way we can. I'll probably have to come back and fill those backpacks up, but I can do that off stream. Right now we're just looking for enough bodies to carry. Looks like we'll find what we need here just fine. So you can see, like, the fogmen, we're just chopping down. They're not even remotely a threat for any of us. So Millie's got someone. So does Nathan. Phil needs someone to pick up. So from the looks of it, we'll be able to come here with our trainees, and since they'll be the ones actually carrying them, like if we actually come here that way, it shouldn't be an issue. The biggest question will be whether or not they can make it through here safely. So we'll probably just bring them with more experienced people. Another option we have is for me to just do the recruiting off screen, which will, and getting all of that set up. So then it's just a question of really what do we do from here? We're kind of in the build up phase. A lot of this is just managing the people, keeping them working, getting them closer to the goal that you're trying to get them to, building up enough armor, building up enough weapons, building up. Ooh, we're missing some people. Building up enough strength just to swing your weapon properly. And then we still need to take them out and get them some combat experience. And we don't want to do it somewhere too dangerous to where we're constantly having to mount rescues and get their weapons back. So we want to go fight just random Shek and random dust bandits, things like that. But I definitely saw a pretty huge decrease in how quickly the strength was going up because they didn't have bodies to carry. It's kind of crazy how different it is. Let everybody grab food. Put them down. And then strength training, we need to bring them over. Looks like strength training 2 is closer, so we'll get them first. No, I hate it when I click the wrong thing. Pick up. That autosave's always spooky. The mouse cursor freezes and you're like, oh, is it okay? Are we good? Ooh, let's get the Inquisitors on those guys that are waking up. Okay. So all of those guys have somebody. Let's get them out of the way and have a strength training squad pick up their guys here. Goodness, I feel like I can't talk. Pick up. Pick up. Somebody must have not picked one up, at least. Yeah, you didn't. Mario did. There it is. So now we'll actually see them make the kind of progress we were looking for. We can go drop off at least the backpacks over here, even if they are empty ones. It's kind of crazy when we have these elite hunter attacks come and it just does nothing. I didn't even really notice. Yeah, they got mowed down before they could get anywhere. So we'll put the completed backpacks over here. And then all the empty ones are over here. So I'm honestly not sure what the best way to progress is going to be. I don't like having too much of this just management style stuff on the stream. I like to keep it a little more action packed. But right now, we're just in a process of making a bunch of money, spending it to grab crafting materials, and doing as much crafting as we can. And this guy just irritates me to no end with his whole I can't craft things and put them away properly. Random high paladin just hanging out in our houses. Stack, he probably ran out of steel. So it looks like this way I can at least keep everybody working while I'm selling stuff off. But this is how we're making our money. We just have him working away at bandanas. And it just slowly makes us a ton of money. And then we're also selling, we were making excessive armor. Like we'd just go ahead and make the full 44 boots to fill up an armor thing, and then tried to do filling it up with helmets, and none of it worked. None of it worked. So I haven't found a way other than having them only craft one thing and in their own separate area that will actually get them to put stuff away while crafting armor pieces and not mess up. We also haven't bothered to get to chainmail. I just don't think that's realistic for this many people. Especially when you think about the fact that we don't want to take forever to get ready to go fight. We just want to use our crazy numbers as a huge advantage. We shouldn't run out of cloth anytime soon. And we shouldn't run out of money anytime soon either. Why is this guy such a dork about this? I'll never understand. He really just struggles to put armor away like he's supposed to. So now what you're going to see is our strength guys. It's taken them all this time to get up to 60. And that's when it starts to kind of slow down a lot. But they've already gained 2 points of strength. The carrying a body is way bigger a deal than I gave it credit for. And it dramatically increases how quickly you can grow your strength. The only problem is getting your hands on that much iron. Like, the amount of iron we need to fill up enough backpacks to train 50 people at once is crazy. Maybe the idea is to go hunt down a bunch of people and melt down their stuff. Maybe that would be that's a good way we could get our hands on some serious iron. Instead of waiting around for it to be mined up by that machine. We're going to have to take minimal food though, so we have room for grabbing items. Alright, that seems to be everybody. Let's go see if the ninjas ever came back to the Tower of Ninjas. What is that over there? More holy paladins. We got so many allies patrolling. Hostile beasts. Oh, the raptors. Yeah, we're not after the raptors, guys. Narcos tits. That's crazy. These guys will say some wild stuff. Supposedly a massive enemy force here somewhere. Sure don't look like it to me. Phil, what is your malfunction? We'll head over to the Tower of Ninjas and the Dust Bandits Tower if we have to. Ah, Phil is just constantly falling behind. What is wrong with Phil? Phil, are you damaged? What is your deal? Wow, he's really laying into those slaves. Jeez. This guy has to be the biggest dork in the world. Like, just put the armor away, dude. Or are you out of material? Okay, I'll quit giving you crap so bad. Interesting. It's taken us a little different angle than I expected. Here's some dusty boys. Dude, what in the world? Why are they clear over there? Like, what's going on? Oh boy. Okay, we actually have everyone. It's a miracle. So here we're just kind of looting anything metal off of these guys that we can melt down, whether it's weapons, crossbow bolts, the armor itself. We can take their metal poles. That's really all the idea is. Grab as much metal as we can, head back, melt it down. It's too bad we can't somehow process this into steel. There are no ninjas in the Tower of Ninjas. It has been successfully destroyed. It really is funny to me that it's always Phil. He's always the one slipping behind. The Dust King Tower is still standing. This guy's in a recovery coma. Wonder if the Dust King's inside. Yeah, looks like he didn't do a great job of rebuilding, though. Well, if he's not gonna do what we want him to do, I guess we'll turn him in. Take his loot, too. Well, I guess we'll go turn in the Dust King. Then we will head back and break down this stuff into iron and see roughly how much we get for a quick expedition. Because if that's going to give us enough iron, we can go fight people and melt down their equipment all day long. That'll be at least entertaining. You guys are the worst. There's no reason to split up. Do see a bandit camp on the map here. We can grab a little more combat and a little more equipment. At least we could if they were actually here. But they're not. There's nobody actually here. Alright, we're heading out. It does look like we found some dust bandits after all. Hey, we're trying to fight you guys. Pay attention. We're basically just going around confiscating their iron. Well, you're a bandit, so we can just take your stuff. Doesn't that suck? You're out of steel already? Jeez, dude. Oh, here's some more bandits. Just kind of pop in out of nowhere. Oof. Not much of a fight, though. Not much of a fight. Yikes. That is an injury. That's not you just hurting. That's an injury. You are damaged, sir. You're not looking so good. Oh, come on. It's not stealing if they're dead. Oof. No, guys, come on. Stay together. We're all going to the same place. Let's stay together. We're just going to drop off the Dust King here somewhere close by, somewhere easy. But we don't ever bother collecting the bounty. We're just doing it for the love of the game, man. Just doing paladin shit. Come back to home sweet home. So we were at 137 iron on this thing when we got back. It's not looking like we're going to get enough out of this for it to really feel worth it, though. Unless we got 200 or 300, it's not going to be good enough. It's too bad there's nowhere to buy raw iron. Okay, yeah, all of that is giving us iron. So we got over 100. We were at 137, but it's still seeming pretty bad. It's faster than mining, I'd bet. It is way faster than mining, it looks like, which is funny. Well, we got close to 200 iron out of it. That's not bad. That's honestly probably good enough. You know? Go out, fill everyone's backpacks with dust bandit loot, come back, get 200 iron. Yeah, if we'd have filled up the last pack, that'd have probably been 200. We could expand the squad a little with the new guys. Get rid of squad 2. Move them into this group. How much iron are we sitting on over here? Not much, so we do have the option of having people just sit and mine the actual daylights out of this thing, but we also could be doing our crafting for all the bandanas over here instead of mongrel, because we could probably raise cotton pretty fast, but let's see how our strength training guys are doing. Already close to 70. Yeah, we got Cletus at 66. Rice at 65. So that's pretty good. So really, if we keep going out like that, coming back, we could end up with a lot of iron. Let's take squad 2 with us. Let's just melt them into the Church Inquisitor squad. have everything they need. They need backpacks. They're no good to us without backpacks. That's another thing we're going to need to acquire a large number of. So we're short 2 backpacks. Rough. But we can go get those. We'll hit the way station. Leave their jobs off. We do want them on medic. Jobs off. We have everybody here. And we're just gonna head to this way station. It's actually way easier to get to for these guys, just with the pathing and everything. The amount of splitting up that happens going to the other one. Or it's going to be horrible to get there and they won't be able to do it at all. Who knows? Come on, guys. Dude, what is going on? Why does nobody want to go? Should I just send you to this one? Is that easier? Whichever way station y'all will go to. We just need to buy back. You know what? We'll go to Stack. You guys want to be annoying? We'll go to Stack. Well, no. Let's think about this. We need to go there because we can also buy medical supplies. We're going to need a ton of medical supplies, a ton of backpacks, not just the 2 these goons need. Guarantee this guy's sitting around doing nothing. Terrible. Terrible, dude. Just put it away. Just put the armor away, forehead. Like, what are you doing? I'm going to have to do something about him. He's just not working correctly. Yeah, it seems like we may just have too many people in general. We're really struggling to move and even put commands into the game. I think that we're probably just going to have to stop and not stop, but we're going to have to stop recruiting more people. I really think so. It's getting kind of ridiculous just trying to move around the map. I think we've got too many areas loaded. I'm going to see about getting everyone back to base. We've got enough money to buy stuff. I think we'll stick with the people we have with the 2 new strength training squads. We'll add them in the mix, and then we'll split them in half. We'll split our Inquisitor squad, at least the strong guys in it, in half. And we'll go from there. I just don't see the game functioning in any kind of observable and enjoyable way. So let's get everybody back to base. You come here. Turn your jobs off. So this means we also don't have to put together the crazy backpacks. And I'd like to have that many recruits and get it going, but frankly, with such a low science area to where I can't make steel, crafting these better weapons is just not practical. I think on a playthrough that isn't held back on the science, we could do more. But I also think that we're going to see the game struggle to play no matter what. So we're going to move on. The backpacks, the backpack store is not open. Guys, what is going on? I wonder if they were set to run as fast as they felt like. Maybe that's why it was such a struggle. But we'll use the Church Inquisitors to get everyone in one place. And everyone that's strength training is already wearing their gear. So all we'll have to do is take them around to buy backpacks. And I know it may end up feeling a little anticlimactic, but we're still going to have, even with just the guys we got done training right now, we're going to have such a huge force of guys that we could take all over the world. We literally don't need these lower crossbow guys at all. Just trying not to have the game freeze up on me again while I'm doing this. Can actually just move them down, I think. That'll be a little easier. Crumble John, you have literally just been a mule for Benny. I honestly don't think we need either of them, but we'll bring them home. We're not gonna just leave them behind just because they've served their purpose. So now we just need to go retrieve Benny, Crumble John, and Zill, and we'll be able to get our squad set up. I also think we might be a little overkill on how many turret guards we have, but that allows us to just leave the base and do whatever we want. This guy's crazy. Just let him get shot. All we're doing is getting in the way. Aaron. That's so funny. Yeah, that didn't work, did it, buddy? So we'll head to Mongrel first, grab Benny and Crumble John, and then we'll make our way back. We'll grab Zill on the way. This will let us consolidate everyone. This is what I was doing, but then I got worried I'd run out of armor and weapons because I was going to. But we should have more than enough numbers to do whatever we want now. We can take them to do like a little bit of cleanup of the bugmen, and we can start there. You know, enemies that are a little bit easier to deal with. Why are they worried about that guy? Shoot at that. I think one of the first places we'll start with is the Black Desert City. We've got a couple maps that would have taken us over there anyway, and we'll discover basically a hideout for skeletons, and we're not going to be okay with that. We'll see how we fare against the Desert City and clearing out those robots. That'll be a good test of our strength once we're done getting everyone kind of trained up in fighting. Because we don't want to just throw a ton of weak guys in there that haven't fought anybody. They're just going to get captured and disarmed when we're fighting the United Cities. So we've got to throw them against some stuff that isn't going to just casually take all their stuff. You pick up Benny, and you pick up Crumble John. And then we'll head straight for Blister Hill. We could probably just bring them here for training too. Even though they would get kidnapped, they wouldn't get disarmed. Guys, can we keep it together, please? Oh, goodness. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, crisis averted. Sorry. Lots of loud noises. Didn't know what the heck was going on. It shouldn't be this hard just to get to Blister Hill. Oh no. Zill, what are you doing? Just go home. If you're gonna be goofy like that, just go home. And then we'll meet you there. He's already halfway there. May as well just let him run. He's almost wearing a full set of armor. Goober. Oh, Zill. No. No, we are running. We are not fighting. Just drop that stuff and run. Damn Goober. This is why I wanted to escort him. But everybody that's going to actually be wearing armor has a set, and then we've got a ton extra, so he'll be okay. What an actual Goober, Zill. Just get you in a full set of armor, get you a weapon just in case. Not that you're going to be good enough to use it, but you'll at least have it. Brecht, what are you doing? Get away from there. No. Don't dismantle it. What is going on here? Open the door. Goodness. Our strength training guys should be about done. Cletus and onions aren't quite there. First group's looking good. Second group's got 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're not ready yet. Who's the furthest from it? Looks like Rice. So we'll keep an eye on Rice. Now everybody's here, everybody's safe. This makes a pretty big difference. One of the reasons I put the two strength training put the strength training team into two groups is they were actually following each other super far behind. It just wasn't working right with the formation and the way it does formations with squads. So I split those guys up. I brought all of our crafters here so that we don't have to worry about feeding them or if they're working. We've got as many guys as we're going to have. If we got any more than this, I feel like my game's just not going to run. And I don't know if that has something to do with having too many different locations going at once because we actually had characters there. I'm not seeing nearly as bad of a performance now that we're all here. So I would basically click, and then it would take, like, let's say I clicked right now, and it would take that long for them to respond. So there's a big delay. There's obviously no internet involved in playing this game, so that's not where that delay is coming from. It's just a straight up processing delay. Um, it's not the graphics. I've basically cranked my graphics all the way up and down and seen like no change in performance. It seems to be just, the fact that Kenshi runs everything around your characters, at least to some degree, when they're in an area. And having them in 3 different cities plus our base was not working. So now we've got everybody here. We're just waiting for Rice to get up to the right strength score. You can see he was at 11%. He's almost halfway there. So that's not going to take long. We'll get everyone equipped. We'll divide them up into different squads, put away their training backpacks. Now we do have the option of strength training our crafters, but if something goes horribly wrong, I'd much rather have... How is there one person? How is there one person just up there instead? But if anything goes horribly wrong, I'd rather be able to just have them start crafting gear again. Although I think at this point, if something went wrong, we'd cut our losses and tuck our tail between our legs and come back, since the Phoenix said we're good. We've still got all of these paladins. That's the other thing too. If we were to get more people, we'd need more barracks technically. And there's paladins just won't go away. I think if I were to build a base again this big, it would not be in an area with paladins like this. Or I definitely probably wouldn't align with them. I think one of the next places I want to try building a base is Flats Lagoon. And maybe Shem. Especially out here in the dunes and the ponds and things. I'm basically going to go look through different areas, see what has the best mining, so the best copper and iron resources, and as long as there's some water, we'll go with that. I've always wanted to do like a black desert, like the Deadlands, do a base here, but it's just not doable. there's literally nothing. So the only thing you can do, if you put hydroponics on the roof of a house, it will somehow water your food, which probably causes some kind of horrible disease when you eat it, but in the game it just works. So you can get hydroponic food going out here, but from what I've seen, I don't think there's any iron at all. I don't think there's any copper. There's no real resources out there. So if that's the case, there's just no point in basing there. Venge would be interesting because there's lots of space and lots of resources. And you just have to have the crab armor so that you don't get lasered. But the next, the base I had when we did the playthrough, where it started out as just my standard playthrough without mods, and then we added Hot Long's Revenge to that after her and Soto were the only ones left. I had a base kind of up in this area, and that worked great. I had all the resources I could want. All I had to do was give the Shek food, which I'm good at setting up crazy food production. That's not an issue. So maybe we look at that area, but I'd kind of like to change it up each time. Just play with different areas, try different things. I'm never going to base in the swamp. I'm just not. I'm not going to do that to myself. All that's going to do is make the game unbearable and laggy. I have done a base over here in the far left section of Vane. This is actually a fantastic place to base because the only things that attack are beak things, which just gives you leather and meat. I got one cannibal raid one time, but that was it. You get like sometimes some cannibal raids, and then random beak things will show up here and there, and that's it. I had iron, copper, It would constantly rain and automatically water crops. It was incredible. I will say though, every time I've done hydroponics, it's just been better. It seems like, as long as you water it out here, it's not much of a problem. The farming out here was great. I haven't ever done Green Beach, and I haven't done, you know, setting up a base in Sonorous Dark. I mean, that's just pure nightmare fuel, but if you were going to go with the Paladins cross as your main weapon again, maybe that's doable. But if anybody gets caught, they're gone. They're gone. You lose a fight, somebody gets knocked down, that's a wrap. The South Wetlands could be pretty cool. I would be tempted to do that. All of the edge areas I kind of like setting up in because there's so few like intrusions. Like if you were to set up on the hook, almost no one's gonna go there. If you set up on Raptor Island, I think literally no one's gonna show up there. Um, it's just, I mean, the Leviathan Coast, you would have food for days. You wouldn't have to worry about anything. Cannibal Plains, once you're strong enough, it's pretty cool. So I want to try either. I've never done the Great Desert. That seems like a good one, and we could just pay taxes with all the crazy amounts of money we would make. Howler Maze would be fun. I would love to set up in Gut and use the mod that I have. I'll be able to basically come over to Gut, and there's a guy you can capture who's technically allied with Beak Things, with the Gutters, like, faction. So you can ally with him using the mod that lets you recruit anyone, because it lets you also say, make me an ally with your faction. His faction is literally Beak Things. So we could set up a base and be surrounded by Beak Things, and no one's going to mess with us because the Beak Things aren't even hostile to us. I tried the Bone Fields once, just because I wanted to, one, be surrounded by dangerous animals. It just kind of works as free security. But two, I wanted to capture a ton of Elder Beak Things. I wanted to use them for training. They are incredible for training groups. If you can get 5, 6, 7 of them, throw them in a bed, they're incredible for training up troops. Royal Valley would be darn near suicide. They just eat people too. If there was any resources in the Ashlands, it'd be cool, but it's a nightmare to even walk there. Stobe's Garden, I'd be tempted to try that too. But I think for this playthrough, we're not going to make another base. I was thinking about making bases all over, but I just feel like it's not going to work. Maybe if I was to set up outposts all over the place and set up turrets, things like that, that could be cool. But I don't think the game's going to run very well. If you actually have people scattered across the map at several different bases, I think the game's going to run like crap. And I'll test it and play around with it to see if that's true, but most likely that's what we'll run into. Rice, alright. Everybody should be 70 now. We're just going to double check. Alright, turn your jobs off, turn your jobs off. Everybody go ditch their stuff. And I know we could kind of just do whatever with this iron, but in the event that we ever want to revisit this, or, maybe if somehow an update or a mod comes out that helps the processing power of this game, we'll be able to actually run several bases at a time. I think that's the only thing I haven't done is operate multiple bases. It would be a very cool thing to do. Alright, come on in here. That's the empty backpacks. So these are basically our biggest noobs. We're going to change their squad names and use them to split up who we have. So this will be squad 1. Or well, we'll make them 2. Squad 1. And then we're just going to divvy up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 really good guys. And we're just going to split them between the squads. And then how many are left in Church Inquisitor? Looks like 20. 21? Okay. So we'll put 10 in each and then leave one extra. Okay. Put the rest of these guys in squad 2. Because we're not going to be able to fit everyone into one squad. They still limit it to 50 characters total in one squad. And then our turret gunners, we don't need that many. So squad 1, squad 2. We got 10 guys here that I want to pick up. It's like Derek is where it starts. So we'll put 5 of them in squad 1. And then Dustin starts squad 2. So now we've got 32 and 31. The only thing even is our turret gunners. Oh yeah, we probably need to make sure none of these guys is still... Oh yeah, we gotta check their jobs, goodness. Gotta turn all that off. Basically everybody coming from strength training we gotta clear off. All the clicking. So now we've got two full squads of a little over 30 people. So this is like double the power we had before. We could probably take more with us from the turret gunners. We don't necessarily even need the second row, to be honest. But I like not having to worry about the base at all. I like it a lot. So we're going to turn everybody's jobs off so we can form them up. Turn everyone's jobs off, form them up. And then we're going to get everybody out of the base. Because the only thing they need now, collectively, are backpacks and medical supplies. That's going to be easier to take care of out in town somewhere. So we can head to the way station and get that settled. Once we get everybody medically supplied up and get as many backpacks as we can, that's when we can start heading out. I think our first good test would be to go attack these hive villages and see how that goes. Well, no, we've got a lot of noobs, so with all these noobs, we should probably take them after dust bandits, take them after animals, things like that. That'd probably be a better bet, because we have a lot of newbies. I don't know why these bandits thought that was a good idea. I was gonna try and get us in a nice, neat formation, but that's not going so hot. I definitely don't want to set it up as a job. But we can have Char follow Boss Tom. And now we should have some nice, neat formations, at least for a little bit. How well that'll hold up, who knows, but... Why is he running? Why are you running? He just started hauling. But yeah, we can have them march in formation, get where we need to go, not be such a cluster. But as we run into those walls, it becomes kind of ugly. Let's see what it looks like if we do caravan. A long, long, long line. That might be worse. That might be worse. Let's get one of these battles in. We haven't done a good battle in a while. We've mostly just been running bandits over. Yeah, we're just gonna group up and do what we gotta do. Dude, what is happening? Okay, we have everybody. What are those? Holy Chosen? That was certainly a pile of dudes. There's so many of them. They're having trouble walking around like we are. Oh, okay, okay, I see what's wrong. I left these two walking slowly and told everyone else to run as fast as they wanted. I wanted to try and have our nice formation set up. Maybe we'll do that right before a big battle, but it just doesn't work trying to actually travel. Everything goes harebrained. Where are y'all going? Oh. Um let's put down those guys. Maybe, yeah. We're just sitting here carrying around fogmen like a bunch of weirdos. Starting to think maybe one squad of 50 would be the way to go. Just leave the rest at home at base. I think at this point we're just going to take whatever backpacks we can get. Well, not the big ones. We're not going to take anything that crazy reduces our stats. That is a bad plan. Buy everybody some rations. The next time we leave out of the base, it'll probably be with a full setup of food. We also could hit up Stack. I think we'll just hit up Stack and buy a bunch of rations before we head out. We've got the money for it. For now, we're just grabbing everybody what we can. Now we'll head to Stack, buy what we can there. We should have a store of food too. We'll be able to snag some from there. We had no food here. Alright then. Oh no. How did you get in there in the first place? Well, that's not gonna go well. I guess we're buying this house so we don't get in trouble. I don't know. It was the easiest way to avoid a problem. I'm not getting in trouble because I accidentally got phased into a house. We just got to load up on food here and then we'll get a move on. This is honestly probably way overkill for how much we'll actually need, but better to have it than not have it. I do think if I was ever to do a playthrough where I have a big, large group of people again, I'm definitely going high science and just automated mining, getting the best stuff I can so that I just don't have to do this. That way, all the food, all of the cloth, all of the medical supplies, even I should be able to make backpacks, are going to be just ready to go. Alright, they're off hold. Let's go run over the rebel bases and the hub. We'll start there with our new guys, get them tested out. So we're just going to attack unprovoked, get phased through the building. Let's see if we can take the fight outside, guys, where we can see it. Nope, no such luck. Barrett, you look like you're swinging that thing slow. I guess it's the dexterity and the lack of skill with it. They just don't stand a chance with our numbers. Is there anything worth taking, Char? Not really. We're not concerned with money. We can grab food if we wanted to, but we just bought a bunch of food. We're gonna need more enemies to focus on. Looks like we found some. Some outlaws. The ninja guard shouldn't be too far behind. Oh, the belt trader. What do you got? Everybody gets a belt. Well, I don't know what some of these do. We'll leave that alone. I never did get around to crafting belts. Who? Oh, yeah. What? Why? Well, you had a med kit. Why don't you have a med kit? That's insane. I'm so confused why Liam didn't have a med kit. But does anybody else not have a med kit? Anybody at all? Okay. What'd you call me? He's just gonna run away. Well, try to. Alright. We need more enemies to fight. Let's go take this party to the Fog Islands. And have epic battles with the Fog guys. We just need to get our newest guys some combat experience and up their dexterity a little. So we need them swinging their swords. So we need lots of enemies. Cannibal territory might be good too. We've got enough strong people that we can rescue anybody we need to. The other great place to go once we're a little more sure about our survivability will be the Fish Isle. There will be a ton of enemies there for us. We just want to find one of the nest markers. Yep. There should be a bunch of fogmen here. I guess not. There we go. Oh yeah, we left it as caravan. We'll set that back up as military. And we're just gonna go for it. I saw him running over. There they are. Apparently my vision's based on movement. These guys are not gonna be much of a fight. Oh wow, they're already done. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna cut it. We could cut through the foglands up to cannibal territory, but I think the fish people are where it's at. That's where we're gonna get some good fights, but this is a lot closer. And the fish guys are a lot tougher. But you have to think some of our newest people, like Onions, he's got an attack of 6. That's pretty low. He's not going to be doing much against our tougher enemies. Looks like we're going to find another decent fight here. Or at least a fight. I don't know about a decent one. They're just chasing down fogmen that are running away because they got their limbs limbed. Cut through the Shrieking Forest and head to bandit territory. Well, cannibal territory, not bandit territory. The cannibal area should give us a ton of people to deal with. There's the Shrieking Bandits, a whole horde of them. They don't seem to be hostile though. Not much. Not much of a bandit. You're just letting us pass, huh? Looks like there's some interesting stuff out here. But now we're hitting cannibal territory. and Robo Spider territory. Weird. I love these plateaus though. They seem like they'd be cool to build on. And you are able to scale them, it looks like. See, these are the big hordes that we want to fight. I want to be on normal speed though. Oh, we are. We just swing that fast for most of our guys. We just come streaming down the hill. We don't want to chase. We don't want to just sit and chase people down like that. And group everybody up. I was like, this one guy's gonna take me on? No. He might have thought so. Yeah, it doesn't take very much from our guys to land a good enough hit to take him out. Well, there was one cannibal village down. Looks like there might be a big fight up here. Oh, a little fight. We got some berserkers. Sounds like we found a beak thing to deal with. Is that a regular? Yeah. Not big enough to be an elder beak thing. Beak things make for pretty great training though. Just because they hit everybody for a little bit of toughness training. Where are you guys going? Chill out. Looks like we're almost to the cannibal capital. This is the kind of epic battle we're looking for. The problem is they're just not tough enough to give us a good fight. They're just getting cut down. They're way too weak. Even if there are tons of them here. Oh, we're all doing just fine. They should have a leader around here somewhere. Ooh, it's pretty gruesome. Question is, did they have a leader anywhere? So I thought their leader was like this dude in big white armor and stuff. I don't see him like laying around over here anywhere. He might have been with the main group. Well, it looks like we're having absolutely no problem with cannibals here. There's so many up here. We could just attack them all. We don't want to chase them to the ends of the earth, guys. Probably got to put them on hold. Oh, there's a beak thing. Yeah, he's like, nope, I'm leaving. Well, we haven't had any real major injuries or lost anyone. Where's Onions at? You're like my go-to potato to see how you guys are doing. Yeah, everybody's fine. They're not even able to put up a real fight. I guess we're taking it to the beak things. found a skeleton, so we're of course not going to let him get away. Well, it looks like we're doing pretty good. I think we're ready to at least go take on the United Cities and let them just get the XP as they get it. I don't see any reason to stall out here. All we're doing is chewing through our food. That leg just comes flying back down. We can attack all of these guys. That little cannibal just coming in and grabbing a Scooby snack. I guess it would make sense, though, with us having such good weapons, that anybody who's just out here with no armor is going to get shredded. Alright, looks like we've got everybody. I think we'll wrap it up there. I'll make the uber long trek over here to Bast and get us ready to start pushing into the United Cities. We're going to recoup our food basically by wiping out any of the shops in their cities, and we'll go from there. We're not going to try and wipe out each slave camp ahead of time. We're going to go straight for Tengu and then see what happens after that. I'm going to look up and try to remember. I think he's in Hang. But whichever city he's in, that's what we're going to go after. We're going to head straight there and take them on. We might do one or two of the slave camps just to help get everyone a little more fighting experience before we make the big push. But I think that's the plan. And then we will go from there. That will not be this afternoon. Now that we are in busy season, it'll be one stream a day. I may start putting out videos, but I have to, in general, be a little bit more flexible and available in the evenings. So that'll do it for today. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. We'll be streaming the same time. It's usually around 7:30, 8 a.m. Central Standard. And we will go and attack the United Cities and see if we can capture Tengu. Thanks for watching.